This is a short trading week, but it's already had a lot of highs and lows, and it's reminded me of why I stopped focusing on trying to get that same daily goal every day. And I thought I'd talk a little bit about that. We haven't covered a lot of trading psychology here in a little bit, and some of these things are really light bulb moments that really kept me from it allowed me to kind of burst through those income limits and those when I was plateauing in my trading a little bit. And one of those things is the market does not give us the same opportunity every day. Every single day is a little bit different. And a lot of the times we kind of overthink that. It's like, well, there's data at 8:30 and there's data at 10 and we're trying to dodge all these things and it's like, well, there's a support level up there. We haven't hit VWAP yet. Have we swept the highs? Have we swept the lows? And there's a lot of different things that we're looking at. But when it comes down to it, there's always kind of that key core setup that we always kind of find and settle into that's just the bread and butter of our setup. Unfortunately, those setups don't happen every single day. That's why I've been bringing the orb trade to y'all, because I know we're very impatient. I am too, even after doing this for years. We can get impatient sitting in front of the computer and just, just want to get into a trade. And with something that's just completely kind of time and range based, it's a lot easier to expect those things. But that trade is very rarely my biggest trade. It's kind of one of those more consistent trades. And I have these setups that don't happen every day, but when they do, it makes everything worth it. And that's what I had today. But I had to wait and wait, and I was actually losing patience with it a little bit because yesterday I just wasn't executing very well at all. Like I would have some little scalp setups, but really the market just wasn't making a ton of sense to me. I wasn't really getting into a good groove with it. So even though I had the levels right, I just wasn't executing right. I didn't have the right patience and I didn't really have the plays in my playbook that I really like to take that are my A plus setups. They just weren't happening yesterday. Same with Monday. It just wasn't coming. I even ended up having a red day when I really shouldn't have, just because, I came to the plate. I looked for the things that I needed to do, and they really just weren't there. And I did force a couple little things. That's why we have, trade management and risk management and all of that, because when I did take losses, it really didn't sting that bad. But what did really sting is just I could not find my groove for a few days in a row. And it sucks when you get up every single morning and you go through your routine and you get all of your levels and your plan, whatever it is, whatever you're looking for, and whether or not the market gives it to you, it's just like you're just fighting. It's just a battle some days. But the thing that keeps me going during those days is because I've been through this cycle a lot. The market goes in cycles, our emotions go in cycles, our trading goes in cycles, everything goes in cycles. And I can really appreciate that these days, that I will have these times when the market is not really giving me what I like to see. And sometimes it's frustrating because traders in your group are in their zone, they're in their groove, and they're seeing exactly what they need to see, and they're being really successful. And instead of looking at that like, man, like, am I just not doing a good job? How come they can do it today and I can't? I've really settled into the understanding that I'm going to have those days. They're going to have those days. We can celebrate each other when we're having those days to keep morale up and everything. But, some days when it feels really forced and it just feels like you're up against a brick wall, that is when you just really be careful about protecting your accounts and protecting your drawdowns and all of that, and walk away when it's time. Because that's when we end up worrying about tilt and everything. But I think knowing that I'm going to have days that are frustrating and where I feel like I'm just hitting a wall, or banging my head against the wall over and over and over again, I know that a day like today is coming when I just have a perfect setup and I have the sense to execute it well. You have to have all those ingredients come together, and it doesn't happen every day and it doesn't happen every week. But even if it just happens, 2, 3 times a month, that still replaces the income of basically any job I've had before and then some. And the really awesome thing is the sky is the limit. So the better I get at this and the better I get at managing all of these little components that I've built over years and years of going on this whole trading journey, because that is what it is. I talk about this all the time. It's not just learning the charts. If it is, we'd all be good at it. There's a lot about learning about yourself and, treating your trading mind like the athlete it is. And all of that is really important, but you don't understand how important it is when you first start out. So that's one of the tools that I've kind of added to help my mental gymnastics and everything, is knowing that I'm not going to be operating at my peak every single day, and the market's not going to give me the conditions that I need to operate at my peak every single day. But if I keep showing up and I keep training and I keep working on my discipline and I keep working on these things, those days just kind of naturally come. And I really like it when they do. It does make up for all those other days. And again, when we have the trading community, we don't have the killer stellar days every single day, the windfall days, but a lot of times somebody else in the community is. So instead of, feeling any of that jealousy or anything like that, that's why I really, really encourage everyone to celebrate everyone else's successes as well, because it's great to have those days and you really, really want to be lifted up and carry that into the rest of your trading, so that when you're having the rough day yourself, you have somebody else's success to celebrate and appreciate, knowing that your day is coming. And the more consistent you get at that process, not every single day getting the same profit, but every single day going through the same process of, studying the market and seeing if your setups do appear, that's where the big difference for me came in at least that little piece of the puzzle. So I hope that helps. We'll get down to some more technical training real soon. I'm working on some videos on that. And of course, I will be in the Discord and everywhere else. Go to the website. I've got giveaways going on and coming up, and I would love to see you around more in the comments in our Discord, and we'll see if we can all win at this journey together. All right. Love you. Bye.